Today we will be doing our camp seat top. So this is like the top to a stool. We're going to be weaving it together. There's a nice little picture on the front. So you're going to need this kit as well as a stick or a pencil. Chances are you're probably going to have a pencil, but I feel like if you want to go outside and find a stick, go for it. A stick about the width of a pencil. I'm just afraid this pencil I have here might be a little too small, so I'd suggest you get a new pencil, or maybe a pen. That would work too. And then you also need scissors, so I have my multi-tool because it has scissors on it. We will be needing that today as well. You do not need any water, so save all your water for your own personal hydration. It is summer, so I cannot stress more how the importance of hydration really affects whether or not you have a good summer camp season. The first step to assembling our camp stool seat top is to put our little wooden pieces together. So you'll notice you've got 4 of these little cubes as well as 4 poles. So the cubes each have 2 little holes in them. So assemble the cubes to make the holes all on the bottom. You see how there's like a top half and a bottom half. Make sure they're all at the same level, or else you're going to get really confused. And make sure that they assemble your square so that you don't have like your holes facing out. That's not going to help you. So basically with the poles, you just give them a good twist and they slide right in. You may need to tap it with something. It's not very hard. So you just twist them on. They come on pretty easily. That's 2. My box is already halfway done. Make sure you're keeping them all at the same spot. Mine is like breaking here. You all seeing this? Cheap project. Some of them might be a little tough. Don't worry about it. Some of them might be a little loose. Don't worry about it either. Our rope is going to hold it together pretty securely. With our rope, you're going to want to take the end of it, pull it out, and then we are going to start, it doesn't matter what end, just as long as it's right up against one of the cubes, we're going to tie a hitch. So if you don't know how to tie a hitch, I'll teach a very simple one, the 2 half hitches. So basically you're just going to wrap your rope around the pole. You're going to take your end and go under your like attached piece of rope, and you're going to kind of have like this loop here. You're going to then go up over your long rope or your attached rope and go into that hole you just created. And then you do that process again. Make sure you don't go this way. You got to keep it out in the same direction that you were originally coming in. So make a second loop and go back into it. And now you can just pull it tight. Make sure it's right on the edge. There's your hitch. My box is coming apart a little bit. They are cheap. Now you're simply going to wrap around about 80 to 90 times. Just, I'd say, start from the end and just keep wrapping until you get all the way there. And then once you're done, tie a knot. Once you have finished and you have tied your other end, and you've cut off the rest of your rope, we will now move on to the next part, the hard part of the project. So we're going to tie another knot, but this time onto one of these poles that are untouched. I'm just going to tie another simple 2/2 hitch to the corner. Pull it tight and then tuck it into the corner here. Now what we're going to do is count 10 of your strings, so you can kind of just make a rough estimate. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to count just because it makes it look nicer to be even. And then you are going to go over with your cord those 10. Then you're going to count another 10 and go under. And you do this over and over, front and back. It takes absolutely forever. But there are a few tricks that we can do. And that's why we need our pencil or our stick or our pen or whatever. And then the other good trick is to leave this our string in our ball so that we don't have to pass it through every single time. We kind of just put the ball through. So when you count your 10 and you get like one string worth, lodge your stick in there to keep it separated so that you don't have to go back and count it every time. You can just keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my 10 again, and this is going to be over. So I'm going to push this down. Then I'm going to find another 10 and go under. So this is where I stick my stick through. Then I count another 10. Over, another 10, under, over, under, all the way. And your stick will hold it in place so that you can just slide this in. It's a little tough when you first get started, at least, because you've got the whole ball. But it's a lot faster than if you were to sit there and count it every time and then keep going like that. So once you've got it through, you're going to flip it over and do the same with this side. So count 10, over, under, until you're all the way through. And you're gonna do 10 wraps and then switch. I redid my sticks in the last video. I just wanted you guys to get an idea of what you were doing without like really recording how long it takes by like counting each of them. I want to keep the videos short for my friend who's editing these together. So I did go back and I counted 10 each, over, under. And in doing that, I also discovered that pencils or pens, even at like full length, are not long enough. So you are going to need to get a stick. I went out and found a second one that worked. So you want to keep the top and the bottom 10, 10, and then just go through it. Make it look real nice if it's even. Once you've done about 10 wraps on both sides, you can then pull your sticks out, because what we're going to do is we're going to switch. We're going to do the next 10 the opposite. So it's a little easier than the first time because now you don't have to count. You can see right in front of you where the 10 is. So you can pull your sticks out. And then this time when we put them back in, we're going to do the opposite. So I see we went under these 10, so we're going to go over these. We went over these 10, so we're going to go under, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And then the same on the other side. And then you wrap it under each, just the same as you have been. Once you have done that, going 10, 10, 10, over and over again, until you reach the end, you can tie another knot on the end, and then your project is finally complete. Now, if at any point you run out of string, or you break your string by accident, you can retie. So if you run out, you could get more. These are pretty cheap. You can probably find it at Walmart or something. If you break it, just tie it back with a square knot. So I'm going to pretend I broke mine here. What I would do is I would go under the 10, or really I'd be going under these 10. And I'm just going to hide my square knot underneath them. So if you don't know how to do a square knot, you basically tie a shoelace. You're going to take your right end and cross it over the left, go underneath, then you're going to take your left end, cross it over your right, and go underneath once again. And you're just going to hide this under your 10 so that it can't be seen, and it looks like your rope just continues like